guys, this is Stacy Scott of AIM-Tanzania, and I'm coming at you with my vlog series today. Um, AIM is Africa Integrative Medicine, and we support projects for healthcare, education, and community development. I'm going to try to not move around so much so that this glare doesn't, but I can't see without these, and I need to read some things to you. Um, but anyway, this blog series, we're all about leading healthy lifestyles here. I am, my family, and my organization is based on that whole mind, body, spirit connection and the healthy lifestyle that can come with that if you're living the right way. And when I say living, I'm not giving any, about how you live your life. It's just about making healthy choices about what you put into your body, what you're around, that sort of thing. So today, I wanted to, this is like really something personal that happened to me, and it just so happens that this relates directly to um, the next class that we're having, seasonal food therapy. The element that we're dealing with is the fire element. And that's a collaboration that I'm doing with Kimberly Ashton of Chi Food Therapy, but it talks about Chinese medicine's five element theory and how that relates to food energetics and your health. But this one I'm talking about today is about herbs. So, herbs you eat, you can use them for medicinal properties or culinary. So it could be either or. But what happened was the other night, I got like sick, like a 24-hour bug of some sort. I don't know. It's just out of nowhere. Like maybe midnight or something, my stomach started like bubbling, making these crazy sounds. And, these like this discomfort from gas just moving around like all over. Like even in my back, I just felt sick to my stomach. I felt like throwing up and using the toilet all at the same time. And I didn't move right away. I thought, let me just lie here. I don't know where this comes from but by morning it was like really bad even before it was daylight. So I'd say it was like maybe 4 or 5 a.m. and I just had to go to the toilet. I had diarrhea, and it just didn't seem to, it wasn't like I felt empty afterwards. Sometimes when let everything go, you feel better, but I actually didn't feel better. I still felt like there, whatever it was still within me, and I didn't know what to do about it exactly. I was feverish as well, and I had a headache. So I thought, now what could this be? I'm not sure. I boil water, I wash everything well, I cook well, so I've been here for years now, so I haven't had any trouble with like any like intestinal parasites or, like bugs like that. So I wasn't sure what happened. And food poisoning, no, don't get that either. So when I came out, I was telling my husband, first of all, don't go in there for a little while. But he's like, "What's going on?" I said, "My stomach is like really messed up." And he says, "So what's going on with you?" And I said, "Well, I told him my symptoms." And he says, "Okay, when I come back, I'm going to bring you some traditional medicine." I was like, "Okay, what?" And he said, "Don't worry, I'm just going to bring you something back." And I'm like, "Okay." I knew I had work to do. The kids are out of school, so I'm just thinking about how I'm going to be able to get through my day, deal with the kids, and do my, work on my things online all at the same time that I'm really sick. Even though I think, actually, this was Saturday. That was when I was sick. We actually had a class that day, so I wasn't participating a lot because I was sick. So I apologize to you guys if it looks like I was just like, it was because I was, so I was just lying down. Anyway, basically, when he came back, he brought me this. This is a root. I hope you can see that well. It's a root from a tree that he just picked, a bush from right outside our gate, and at our home. And he made this decoction that was, it was like a little brown or whatever. But while he was in the kitchen, I'm thinking, when are you going to bring that in here? But he was taking a long time. He just kept telling me, wait, wait. He brought me some soup, and it was just like tomatoes and okra in this like soup. So it reminded me a lot of my mother's soup that she used to make all the time, like heavy on okra and pasta and other vegetables. But that brought me comfort, and he didn't even know it, that it tasted like something from my mom. But then he brought in this the herb, and he just gave me the root, and he said, chew on this. A lot of times people just chew on that. And I said, okay, so what is that called? And he said, well, it's Senesamia, or one of the varieties of the samia plant or bush. He said, but it's right outside. I'll show you. I didn't feel like going outside, so I'm like, whatever. Send me a picture of it. So, later, I didn't feel like doing much of anything. But so this samia, basically, when I put it under my tongue, it had this like bitter quality, and the flavor was like super bitter. And I said, oh, this tastes just like something from medical school, like when we were in you had a shift on the pharmacy, you were able to try some things. And during herbs classes, you would sometimes the instructor would say you could try some things, if it's not toxic or whatever, and to actually taste this yourself. And so I wanted to see, because for me, the background that I have as far as my medical background or education background as far as medicine is concerned is traditional Chinese medicine. But I'm here in Africa, so I'm very interested in seeing how, finding things that mirror these herbs that, I do know about and what they do. So that was really interesting to me. So I was very interested in, tasting this. So it had a bitter flavor, and it was neutral. Like it wasn't cooling, it was neutral. I'm going to read you some things about it, and then you'll understand why I'm saying like this. Like the properties, 5 elements, has to do with, is on yin and yang is how you balance things. So if something is hot, you bring in cooling elements to bring it back to neutral, or the way it should be. If something is damp, you want to bring in something that has a drying quality to bring it back to its normal state. And so in this, I was just really interested in seeing like what it actually affected. And then I wanted to look online and find this herb to see what it was with traditional Chinese medicine, what meridians or what organ systems, if you will, they go to. So wanted to read you something. This is from, I always give credit where credit is due. So what I'm reading for you is from the White Rabbit Institute of Healing.com. And, I found there were a lot of different sites, but this is the one that resonated with me most as far as the information that it brought. And, we are Africa Integrative Medicine, AIM-Tanzania. AIM is an acronym for Africa Integrative Medicine. So that whole integrative thing is like what we're really interested in. I know that Eastern and Western medicine, they should be together. There's sometimes when you need Western, there's sometimes when you need Eastern. But, again, like what I do here with my vlog series is not to diagnose or, say self-diagnose or, self-treat. It's more about education and about, making better decisions for yourself intuitively. If you have knowledge is power. If some of these things can help you to prevent these imbalances from happening in the first place that bring about disease patterns, right? So, and if something does happen, like you don't always have to go to the doctor as soon as, like you have to have this medicine. Your body, God made us so that your body is supposed to heal itself, and sometimes those things get out of balance. And how do you jumpstart your body back to doing what it's supposed to do? Sometimes it's illness, sometimes it's age that brings about our organ systems aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So Western, the name of this plant is the Cassia Samia, and I've got it on this. You'll see here I'm showing the actual tree, and it's all over Tanzania. Like it's such a beautiful shrub, and it grows really, really tall. But it's also known as the Kasad tree and something called Mazali and Siamese Cassia. So the organ systems, and this is Western medicine, you guys, the stomach, the intestines, the respiratory system. And the key actions are sedative, antimicrobial, anti-malarial, anti-diabetic, anti-cancer, hypotensive, antidepressant, anti-tumor, anti-flu, antiviral. Now, I haven't read all of them. You can go to it yourself. Again, White Rabbit Institute of Healing.com. Cassia Samia is spelled Cassia, second word Siamea. So the medicinal uses in Western medicine are diabetes, hypertension, anxiety, flu, support the immunity. So, if it's flu, you need to support your immune system anyway. So that's constipation, anxiety, HIV, malaria, calming, and insomnia. So now in Eastern medicine. So pinyin just means basically the word, the scientific term for the category or the name of the plant in Chinese or Mandarin, if you will. And because I don't speak the language proper, and nor do I speak Swahili, so I'm often butchering up words, and I want to apologize ahead of time if I mispronounce this. I don't mean to offend anyone, but so the pinyin is Jue Ming Ji Juan Lu. So you'll find that on the website, so on the White Rabbit Institute of Healing website, so I don't have to spell that out for you. But it's also known as the Mazali, as the Kasatri, Blackwood, Bombay Blackwood, Ironwood, and Iron Knife Wood. Those are some other names that it's known by. So the meridians, now we're getting into something that resonates with me as far as, how I was taught. The meridians that it goes to are the stomach, the liver, and the intestines. Its key actions are that it clears heat. And you think about this. If you have diarrhea, when have you known about people, having cold diarrhea? Usually it's hot, right? You feel like your butt is on fire. So calms the shen, S-H-E-N. Shen means the state of your mind. So if your mind is all like, it calms you. Tonifies the chi. So if you watched my first video log, where I was talking about 5-element theory, I talked about chi and yin and yang, so I'm not going to really go into it right now. You can go back and view that video if you're not familiar with those terms. Excuse me, but I'll just say that chi is the energy of your body, plain and simple. And tonify is a word that you don't normally hear unless you're following some Eastern medicine practice. So tonify means basically your chi. Tonify is to make it right. Whatever is wrong, it's going to make it right. So I'm going to tonify the chi. If it's up here and I need to bring it down here, I do something to tonify it, get it right. It reduces fever. Remember I said I had a fever. And it expels intestinal worms. Again, I didn't think I had intestinal worms, but don't know, right? Trying to figure that out. The medicinal uses in Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, are for anxiety, hysteria, insomnia, stress, diabetes, headache, dysentery, stomach disorders, urinary disorders, hypertension, rhinitis, malaria, scabies, childhood convulsions, chills and fever, and profuse sweating. So I'm going to skip down a little bit. The parts most frequently used are the leaves, the tender pods, the seeds, the flowers, the roots, and the stems. And the flavor and temp. Just like I said, it was bitter. It says that it was cooling, but I didn't feel any cooling quality myself. But energetically, it's cooling. So the history of this talks about it being a laxative, a tranquilizer, counteracts effects of stress and anxiety. In Cambodia, it's used to treat scabies and rhinitis. Unlike the pharmaceutical counterparts, it's not noted for unwanted side effects, toxicity, or addiction. So, It's considered a first-class psychopharmaceutical, so that's a good thing to know to calm the shin, calm the mind. The leaves are used to treat malaria as well. So, in Ayurvedic medicine, the fruit is used to treat intestinal worms and prevent convulsions in children. So, when I read that, I thought, oh, okay, so I am doing the roots, not the fruit of the tree. So it wasn't for intestinal worms. And I afterwards, I would say when I went to bed with traditional medicine, normally, unless you're using like something that's very strong, and if it's very strong, sometimes it's toxic. So you have to be very careful with that. So it's better to use something with mild properties. So it works over time. It's not going to work instantaneously. So you basically allow your body to rest, and that's what I did. I took a bit of the tea that my husband gave me, and then I just rested. I slept for about an hour. I got up. I felt a little better. I knew that I had to get ready for, be ready for my class, but I just felt a little better. So I just wanted to lay out and start moving around. My family really helped me out with making sure that everybody had dinner, so they took care of me really well and allowed me to rest. And the next morning, I had no symptoms that were like, the stomach and that sort of thing. I still had a bit of a headache. It felt like a lingering headache, but it was because I hadn't been drinking water, so I was a bit dehydrated. So once I rehydrated, I was back to normal. So it worked. So, just let's say Kenya, they use the roots to treat snake bites and diabetes. The Ivory Coast, they use small repetitive doses of the roots to treat angina and malaria. In China, they use it for arthritic swelling. So it just has like so many great qualities. And there was something else that I want to tell you about. It's really cool that we came up with it. So the taste that is bitter. So when I think of the bitter taste, you're thinking about the property of bitter. And it's funny, you guys, like bitter is actually the taste of the element that we're doing on Saturday. So again, consider, taking this class because food is medicine, preventative care is medicine. And so we're talking about how these tastes and the colors relate to the seasons and your organ systems. So this bitter taste is the fire element. Think about fire. When something is burned up, it tastes bitter. So this goes with that fire element. It just so happens that it's the way it happens, the way that it went for this time. And the dandelion, I didn't know that it was a bitter quality herb as well. But it has anti-cancerous properties. And so what I shared with the participants for this class that we did just recently was all about dandelion and dandelion latte and dandelion tea and dandelion juice. Its quality is bitter. So we're going to touch on that a little bit for this class. So you really want to sign up for the class, just go to my website and click on courses to sign up for. The date will be the 19th, this Saturday, for that course. But anyway, I just wanted to read a few qualities of the bitter taste. Then I'm going to let you guys go. The bitter taste is a taste that's the most common one found among medicinal herb ingredients, especially among the materials. And so this is from itmonline.org, and also this stuff comes from Materia Medica. So it has been suggested that the bitter taste is generally unpleasant because it warns of potentially toxic ingredients. And hold on, sorry you guys, I made my screen too small. Toxic ingredients, and these toxins are strong medicines, and it is because of this that they become common among the ingredients of herbal medicines. Alkaloids, which often affect the nervous system, are consistently bitter, and glycosides, which usually affect the circulatory system, are frequently bitter. So are most flavonoids, which have a broad beneficial health effect if it's taken in sufficient quantities. And there are two basic qualities associated with the bitter taste, and I'm only going to talk about the second one, and that's according to the taste action. Bitter herbs have a cleansing action. So you think of that, it cleansed me, right? It got rid of the diarrhea. It removes heat and toxin. And I said diarrhea, you think of that as, you already know, energetically, you feel heat from your butt when you have diarrhea. So it removed the heat and the toxins, whatever had built up a toxin in my body to, create this whole intestinal issue. The cleansing action of bitters mainly refers to their antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects, which are found with alkaloids, glycosides, and flavonoids. The bitter herbs also dry dampness. Diarrhea is damp, and this refers mainly to reduction of mucus membrane secretions. And we can recognize today that increased mucus secretion is usually secondary to inflammation and infection. So, make sure you join us for this upcoming class. I hope you enjoyed what we had to say about this blog and I didn't gross you out. But we will see you soon on the next vlog series. Thank you for listening.